If you've ever wished you could serve justice to someone who broke your heart, or your families, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready, because this might just be the most satisfying revenge story you'll hear today. What would you do if your stepdad cheated on your mom, humiliated her, and thought he'd get away with it? Most people would just walk away. But my family, we made sure he lost his job, his freedom, and even his so-called happy ending. This is a story of how we destroyed him, piece by piece. I was 24 when my world flipped upside down. My mom, 50 years old, exhausted from a 25-year marriage to my manipulative dad, finally divorced him. We thought things would get better. She deserved peace. Instead, she found Chris. Chris was trouble from the start. He was a former inmate, jailed for DUI, but Mom was lonely and vulnerable. I didn't push it because for the first time in years, she smiled again, and for a while, we all tried to believe he was good for her. My siblings and I, my brother, 23, and my sister, 30, moved in with Mom and Chris. At first, things seemed okay. Chris and I even bonded over video games. But behind the laughs, cracks started forming. In 2017, those cracks split wide open. Chris went to his regular probation check-in at the courthouse and never came back. Hours later, he called from Texas. The FBI had grabbed him. His family was tangled in gang and drug crimes. And because Chris had been in a car during a handoff, he was implicated too. He agreed to testify against his relatives in exchange for a lighter sentence. Somehow, he came back, even getting his old Dairy Queen manager job. But that's when the drinking began. And Chris wasn't just a drunk. He was a mean drunk. Half a case of beer every night, then yelling, throwing insults like knives. He never hit Mom, but words can cut just as deep. Still, she defended him. He's stressed, the trial's weighing on him. But there's only so much a person can take. One night, Chris staggered in, reeking of booze. Mom snapped. "Have you been drinking?" she demanded. His silence was his answer. She kicked him out, told him not to come back until he was sober. The next morning, as we packed his essentials for him, there was a knock on the door. I'll never forget opening it. It was Betty, one of Chris's coworkers. She looked nervous, like she was about to drop a bomb. She sat my mom down and said, "I need to tell you something, but please don't tell him it was me." Then the truth spilled out. Chris had been cheating with a woman named Darla. He had her sneaking around the Dairy Queen, performing sexual acts at work, even threatening Betty that if she told anyone, she'd be fired. And the kicker? Darla was pregnant. I watched my mom's face crumple, fury and heartbreak all at once. That was the moment Chris lost everything. We didn't hesitate. We dragged every piece of Chris's crap out of the house and dumped in the alley. When Mom confronted him, he admitted it all. Worse, he bragged about Darla's pregnancy, saying he was finally going to have a child Mom refused to risk her life for. That was it. No apologies, no remorse, just arrogance. Mom was ready to wash her hands clean. But me, my brother, and my sister, we weren't. We wanted him to pay. Step one, his job. Chris thought he was untouchable as Dairy Queen's manager. But franchises are privately owned. We knew the owner. We told him everything about the affairs at work, the threats, the public indecency. The owner didn't even hesitate. Chris was fired, banned from every local branch. Poetic justice? Betty, the one he threatened, got promoted into his position. Step two, his future. Chris ran to Darla, an hour away, and somehow landed another Dairy Queen job. We found out and made sure that manager heard the full story too. It took time, but soon enough, Chris was unemployed again. Step three, his freedom. That's when things got dark. Chris started lurking around our neighborhood, clearly stalking Mom. He didn't even have a license. His DUI probation meant he was banned from driving. Yet there he was, circling in Darla's car. We tipped off the cops, told them to watch that car. And sure enough, one night, they pulled him over. He was drunk, license revoked, straight back to jail. And then karma really kicked in. During a search of Darla's house, police found multiple guns. Since Chris was a felon, That was a hard no. More jail time. By the time he finished, it was time for his Texas trial. Chris's son was born while he was locked up, but Darla quickly realized what we already knew. Chris was toxic. She cut him off, sued him for child support. From prison, Chris sent desperate letters to my mom, pages of "I'm sorry" mixed with "it wasn't my fault." She burned them all without reading. When he finally got out, he was a broken man. No family, no home, living in Kansas now, fighting a losing battle against child support. Meanwhile, Mom rebuilt her life. She found a man who treated her with kindness. My siblings moved out, chasing their own dreams. And I stayed, helping Mom renovate her new home. Our lives moved forward. Chris's stuck in misery.